We had a fantastic training day yesterday. We had some horses that were scratched because they were a little bit sick. A couple of them had splints and curbs cryoed, but very impressed. And the reason I have, anytime you hear me say we had a fantastic day, it could be a number of reasons actually, but usually it's either they all trained good, which is a rarity, or a lot of the horses that were either in the middle or down below started to come up, right? Started to do their work well. I always expect the good horses are going to do their work well, and I'm never going to be wowed when they do, unless it's an extraordinarily great training trip. But I like to see the horses that are kind of lagging behind start to come forward, or the ones in the middle jump up. Now, we had a horse, we had 3 horses in my mind. Now, there may have been different ones in James's or Johnny's or Danny's or Mario's mind, but I could tell you 3 horses that really wowed me yesterday. We'll get to them in a minute. But I'm going to start with Absolute Euphoria. This affiliate's going to start catching everybody's eye. She is a real good-looking filly. Very impressed with the way she's done her work and how good she looks doing it. Absolute Euphoria just looks fantastic. Always charming. Has his days. He just needs to be gelded. And yesterday he was good. There's nothing wrong with him. But the day I went with him, you could tell there was more in there. He just didn't really care if he put it out. Now, I wouldn't go as far as to say he's a bad attitude. Typical green trotter, but most definitely needs to be a gelding and will be this week. So did his work well yesterday, but I need him to do it consistently better, and he has the ability to do that. Anchors Up was good again. It just strikes me as a very immature colt right now. Trotting good, looks nice on the track, but when you look at him in the stall and you look at him on the track, you just say to yourself, he's going to grow. He's going to be a big boy. And between now and qualifying days, that's when he's going to have to do it. So you're going to see it more than me because I'm going to see him every day. But when you see him every couple of weeks under the drone or whatnot, I think he's really going to start to catch your eye as we go along. Anchors Up, beautiful horse. And very well-bred colt, too. And looked good yesterday. Austral Hanover. This guy's going to be a little bit of a project for a while. One, he needs gelded terribly. And has from day one. 2, Little Peggy. Now, they shod him on Friday. Yesterday, he was a little light, a little pacey, a little peggy up front. Danny said, well, what about flip-flops on him? I said, yeah, we could put flip-flops on him, no problem at all. So I think, between the flip-flops, between the right weight on him, the right balance, and getting him castrated, I think you're going to see him come forward. He's had training trips where he was awesome. But the last couple of weeks, made a break here, made a break there. I think he's just going to take some time to get him square. Captain in the Air, Giant G. Needs to be gelded really bad. This is a beautiful colt with a beautiful gait and a big-time attitude. Not a horrible attitude, just that typical, I'm a stud, I'm a colt, and I'm going to do what I want type attitude. No, that's not going to fly. And I think, what's the date? January the 9th. He'll be gelded on the 10th. Let's check back in January 25th and see how. Well, I'm going away on the 24th. I think I was looking at the weather with Amy, and I hadn't called Curtis yet. I told everybody maybe do the drone next Saturday, but it might be the Saturday after because that's 2 days before I go away, and the weather looks great that day. Now, I hate banking on 14-day forecasts, but next week it looks like it might be a little windy on my first suspected drone day. Plus, factor in that we're going to have 4, 5, 6 horses castrated. They really can't go next Saturday, but they can the Saturday after that, so it might make more sense to do it that way. Carter Michael Dio, this horse is awesome. He's awesome right now. I told you it was 3 horses that caught my eye wrong. This guy's on the list for sure. There's at least 4 that caught my eye. Just come first over with flip-flops on an icy, snowy track. Johnny said he's a machine, and exactly what we're looking for. Keep in mind, we don't talk enough about the international monies. They were discounted at the sales. This horse is out of a world-class family. Beware. His brother is a big deal in Europe and was a good horse that I raced against with Lawmaker here in North America in Taekwondo. This is his brother Carter Michael Dio, and he is a good-looking animal. Has all the license to be a good horse, should be a good horse, and I suspect and hope will be a good horse. Cash Deals caught me off guard yesterday. Mario come out, had the hobbles on him, on her, I believe. Had the hobbles on it, and I made a break in that set with Landing Pad. We'll talk about him in a minute. But I couldn't really see what went on, but I saw Mario knife through the inside and then trot hard through the final turn. I was really impressed with this horse. Looked really good yesterday. Castiel's definitely so far so good. A great pickup for us. Actually, this was the first horse we bought in 2021 for the 2022 season, was Castiel's. Chocolate for Lunch continues to do her work well. She's not she's not gonna super impress anybody for a little bit, but looks really, really good on the track. Chocolate for Lunch, very happy with her. Columbus was castrated and then had a curb cryoed, so he didn't train yesterday. This guy's the type of horse where you're going to see him, he's going to be a little frustrating, then you're going to talk about, you're going to hear me, mark my words, you're going to hear me talk about him one day and say, this thing's a killer. Because once we get him squared away, his head on straight and looking good, monster. I believe. Coupe de Ville, I couldn't be happier. I really would have wagered good money that this filly would have been a touch of a train wreck. It wasn't a coin flip when we bought her. I told everybody I wasn't going to buy Coupe de Ville, but I bought her because the price was right. You know, I think it was $27,000. I really thought she'd bring a lot more money. At 27, I thought she was definitely worth the risk. Brought her here. She was interfering a little bit when we first started training her. We had to make some pretty aggressive shoeing changes on her, but man, did they pay off. She was closing in yesterday on some really, really good horses and looked like a good horse. Jimmy went with her and said, no, she's awesome. She was really good, and she is a good-looking filly. Really impressed with what Coupe de Ville has probably been one of the quietly one of the most impressive horses so far over the last month was Coupe de Ville. Crantini, James has done a great job with this horse. This is a James horse, right? This right here, Crantini, is a James horse. And what I mean by that is quiet, go easy. Me, I'm going to give them leeway, but at the end of the day, they need to do what they're asked to do. I'm a bit more of a drill sergeant. You know, James and I are a little bit good cop, bad cop type situation, and this horse needs the good cop situation right now. He looks good, trained awesome yesterday. You wait until you watch this horse on the video. This is an incredibly good-looking animal, and as he should be. Packed family, brother to Macho Martini by International Money, as I said. We got him discounted at, I really believe, even at $35,000, he was discounted. His brother is Macho Martini. Good looking colt. I believe the International Money and Chestnut maybe drove his price down a little bit, but man, he just looks really good. To the point where when we first broke him, I'm like, this guy's got to be castrated immediately. Now I'm like, I almost don't want to castrate him. I want to put up with him until we can't. And I think that's where we're at right now with Crantini. Cunning Connie was sick this week. This filly's a killer. She just does everything perfect all the time. She's a little bit sick this week, so she didn't train yesterday. Cunning Connie had 2 big splints cryoed yesterday, so she didn't train this week. Depend on it. I was going to put him in the sale, to be honest. I had all but given up hope, said, he just the way he trots, he interferes. I don't know what he's going to be any good or not. Again, we made some pretty aggressive shoeing changes on him, and he actually won the training set yesterday in 251 and looked good. Now, there is quite a wide berth between the best horse in the barn and Depend on it, but he's coming. Very happy with him. Big leaps and bounds this week in his gait, in his attitude, in his maturity. Very impressed with this colt so far. Dreaming of Credit, this guy needs to get his work together. There's nothing wrong with Dreaming of Credit. He needs to be castrated. I got to go with him for about a week. He's just made a break here and there, and you can see dawdles, and still we'll be in the middle of a training set and he'll be squealing at other horses, which is funny for a bit. And then after a while, it's not so funny. And just need to get this guy moving. There's nothing wrong with him. He does his work quite well. He just needs to do it better, more often, and as a gelding, and we will fix that this week. Now, the next horse I'm going to talk about for a minute. I told you guys I was hoping this horse would come forward. I marked them all, right? When we gave them those grades at Christmas or New Year's, I wrote them down. Enzo Aguero. I gave a B- to, because he was acting up. He wouldn't do his work right. And I said, this guy gets it right. Who knows what kind of horse he'd be. In my mind at this time, I'm thinking castration, hobbles, might make a decent horse for us, much like a Mordiner was this year. Very similar. In my mind, that's what I saw happening. Put the hobbles on him for the very first time 2 weeks ago, 10 days ago, and annihilated the field immediately. First day with the hobbles on his legs ever. Immediately annihilated everybody. I'm like, wow, where'd that come from? Amy went with him the other day, looked pretty good. Now, I went with him yesterday. And immediately when I went out on the track, I'm like, this horse feels awesome. Right away, just jogging around. I turn him, I speed him up a little bit. This thing feels like a racehorse. You know what he felt like? Felt like another little horse I told you about last January, Bomb Hugger. Very similar. These babies don't generally possess that racehorse feel until later on in the season. Not very often you hear me talk about this. Not very often. Bomb Hugger might have been the only horse last year where I told you she felt like she could qualify now. That's how Enzo felt yesterday. There's very few horses that can trot with this horse the way he is right now. Lady All-Star is one of them. Merchant Man is one of them. Maybe Carter Michael Dio. But they'd be struggling to keep up with him, and he would do it in fourth gear. Enzo has gone from gelding and hopeful that he turns into that Amordiner type to, this thing's a killer. And I mean killer. He's a stud. Does everything I ask him to do. Does it all completely correct. And then yesterday, Mario made front with Tailgate Buzz. Training pretty good, by the way. And I come first over, and I saw Mario put the whip up, and he's going to let him trot good the last half. I just went, zoom, cleared over to the front. And most babies this time of year, when you put them in gear and they go by the horses, they'll do one of two things. They'll pull up a little bit because they don't know what to do, or they'll want to go faster and take off. Usually those are the only two things they'll do. This guy, cleared to the front, I just grabbed a hold of him. His ears just went straight up, and he just come right back to me. Johnny came to me in the last turn with, I believe, Full Heart, and Coupe de Ville was coming also, and we were starting to trot, and I mean trot. Around the last turn, I just put the whip on his tail, and he was gone. I bet you I won the set by 4 or 5 lengths, and he was incredibly good. He went from hopeful to absolute killer in 10 days. And I'm telling you, the only horse I can compare him to in my memory, when I talk about Enzo and remember how he trained yesterday, the only comparison I can make is Bomb Hugger last January when I spoke to you guys about how good she trained. The difference is this guy's bigger, stronger, has a nicer gait than Bomb Hugger, and moves quick, as Bomb Hugger did. So very, very impressed with Enzo, a horse that really... And you know, when we talk about helping people out and working with our clients, and working with people in horse racing, Enzo was not on our list to buy, right? This was a horse that Steve Palermo and Jeff Ruck had bred. He was going to go for far too little money in the sale. In that moment, right then and there, I know I priced the horse the day before with all the information I had, maybe even that morning, at 30 to 40,000. And when he was stuck at 7 or 8,000, I could have just simply said, no, I'm going to stick to the script. I have my horses that I'm looking at. I'm not really, not really that interested in Enzo. But I wanted to make sure that, at that price, that horse goes from I'm not really interested to absolutely, I'll have that, please. I'll take another. And that's exactly what took place with Enzo. We purchased Enzo with the hope he turned into a horse. At no point in my life, and again, we're 7 months from him really wowing anybody. Oh, I get a passenger. Hello?
Rain.
It's rain?
Yeah.
Do you want to come in and do a video with me?
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on, I'll put the seat back and you can come in with me, all right? But when you come in, you have to say hi to everybody.
Hello, buddy.
No, you have to say it when you come in here. Say hi.
Hello, buddy. That Marshall.
Oh, that Marshall? Oh, I'm doing a video list. Do you want to help me? Who's your favorite horsey?
Shit.
Who's your favorite horsey? Who's Mommy's horsey that you feed carrots to?
Cargo.
Tygo? Oh, that's good. Okay, 1 second. I'm going to do a video, okay? So, Enzo Aguelo impressed the hell out of me, to say the least. Fashion Presidente continues to do his work well. There's another horse that I thought would have to be castrated. I don't know if he will now for a little while. Danny loves this horse. And he's a likable horse now. He trains good. He looks good. Very happy with him. 5 fish species. I think this is the week we start to maybe put the hobbles on Fish. Hey, shh. And expect a lot more from Fish. Fish, a nice filly, but fell behind everybody for about 3 weeks. She was really, really sick. Now she's fine and looking good on the track. Full Heart, Johnny says the best horse we have. Here's number 5. I guess I told you it was 3, but this will be number 5. This filly looks the part. She does everything perfect. Very happy with her. Gandalf the Black, just going to take work. Just going to take work. The horse does it right. Makes the odd break in places, but he'll catch it. He'll do it. And very happy with Gandalf the Black. GJ's ATM, probably one of our best Illinois breds in the barn. Him and Rosita's Dream are quite a ways ahead of the Twin Cedar source just yet. He's got lots of time to catch up. Shh. But GJ's GJ's ATM, James says, can trot with anybody right now. So good. High Enterprise, I've had high praise for this filly from day one and continue to. Just a consummate professional. Really happy with her. Hill Street Blues was a little sick this week. Didn't train, but has been very, very good. Horn Player trained good yesterday. Finished 4th or 5th in the set, but her own last half was 1:17. She can't go any more than that, and nor would I ask her to. So a very, very good mile. Do you want a seat here? No, you can't get off with your boots. If you take your boots off, I'll put you back in your seat. Do you want that?
Yeah.
Okay. Here, why don't you take your boots off, and we'll sit over here with the Timbits. We won't tell Mommy. All right, that'll be our little secret. I'm going to take this and put this in your seat. I take your boots off. Kick your boots off. Kick them off.
Oh, that's the coat.
No, you don't take your coat off. All right, you go sit over here.
Wow.
Rawr, tiger. There's Marshall. And here's some Timbits to munch on. One. You don't want any? Oh, good for you. I do need my list back. So, where are we at? Lady All-Star. Now, I will tell you this. I can't rank Lady All-Star ahead of the other 2, 3, 4 horses because she's got a lot of work to do mentally. This thing can go as... There's only so many horses in the barn that can literally trot with Enzo. This would be one of them. This filly can fly. And I mean, straight up fly. Not crazy. She's not crazy, but she is a little hot. Little silly sometimes. She just needs to mature. That's all she needs to do is mature. And she'll get there. That won't be a problem. She will get there. But it's going to take time. As I said to Greg, who jogs her every morning, I said, Greg, when you go on the track with Lady All-Star from now on, no, we're not playing that game, silly butt. Put that window up. Thank you. When you... How is she doing this? Addie Bear, can you put that window up, please?
No, come Mommy.
Is that not working? Okay, stop.
Hi,
When
Mommy.
I asked for it. It's my fault.
Hi, Mom.
Shh. Mommy's working. So when they won the track with Lady All-Star every morning, I want her jogging in a set. Sitting, moving, sitting, moving. Her only flaw. Now, we got her going out the barn. We got her going up the ramp. Everything is good. Her only flaw is she gets anxious. She wants to get at it. She wants to beat up on horses and fight. That's her only flaw at all, this filly. So that's what we're going to work on over the next month. Bring her on the track, sit her in a hole, move her, sit her again, move her, sit her again. That's what I want to see this filly doing from now on. Landing Pad. Sort of said a little bit of infection running through him, just some skin infection, and didn't train great 2 weeks ago, and then didn't train fantastic. Yesterday, made a break or two. You could see there's something in there. I don't think I had this horse's shoes just right just yet. I'm very happy with them, but a lot of these horses, you guys hear me make these shoeing changes, like, oh, why is he doing this or why is he doing that? A lot of this stuff is trial and error. Try it, see if it works, move on. And that's where we're at with Landing Pad. I'm comfortable with the way he shot up front, but behind I think we need to make a little bit of a change. He's very fast. You can tell he's got a lot to offer and a lot of pop to him, but he just needs some help. And we're going to give him that starting this week. Landing Strip was good again. Actually, he gets shied away from a whip and rolled off stride on Saturday, but this horse is push button right now and has been for a while. Leaps and Bounds was good. I didn't realize it when I looked up Leaps and Bounds at the sale. We had her sister. And many of you might remember, it's been here for a while, her name was Heavenly Skies. I can't believe this is Heavenly Skies' sister. Heavenly Skies looked good, but just was clunky and really was a little more compact than I'd like. And we ended up selling her. Blair Burgess ended up a piece with her with us, and we ended up selling all the filly to Blair. And then I think they sold her as a broodmare. This is her, Addie, shh. This is her sister, and a very, very good-looking filly. Man, she can fly. They actually look nothing alike, but they are sisters. Lost Spirit continues to confound me. the way he's training is great. I'm very happy to see it and to hear it. I just didn't think that it would go down this way. Yes, honey? What's that? I don't have the tablet, sweetheart. I don't have it. Do you want a Timbit?
No.
Okay, wait, can you sit in your chair? When I'm done my list, can you want to say hi to everybody again?
Hi, buddy.
When I'm done my list, sweetie, do you want to go in the barn?
No.
Okay. So Lost Spirit just training awesome and looking great on the track. Shh, please you. May lose control. This is hot in here, Jesus. May lose control, trained great yesterday also and looks good. Another horse, a little shocking, actually a little bigger and a little better looking than Lost Spirit, but they both have been training great and look very, very good. Magical Tom and a big curb to cryo this week. He did train Saturday because we couldn't get it cryoed this week. We'll cryo it and castrate him first part of the week. Marshall Zukov trained great, looked very, very good the other day training. Very impressed with him. Merchant Man, here's one of the 3 best horses in the stable right now as of yesterday that I saw train. Lady All-Star can fly, Enzo can fly, and make no mistake, Merchant Man can absolutely fly. So very impressed with Merchant Man also. My 1% was good yesterday, did his work very well. Nothing But a Dreamer looked very good yesterday training. Oh my gosh, I'd said it in the video yesterday. It's just gonna take us. It's gonna take time. It is going to take time, and that's it. We're gonna castrate him. You're gonna see him put that engine of muscle on him, and he'll be able to use it properly about March, I would say. But until then, you're gonna see him struggle a little bit with getting his work done. Olczek looked very good yesterday. This is what I would say an improved looking colt, who's a full brother to Miss Brampton Beast and a half brother to Adrenaline Rush. I think a better version of both of those horses, a hybrid, if you will. Outlaw Jesse James trained good yesterday and looked good. Brenda's horse, Real Fear, was a little sick this week. This horse has been awesome since day one. He is probably one of the most likable horses in the entire barn. I love this horse. Rito Legacy was a little sick this week and couldn't train, but big things. I expect big things from this filly. She looks really, really slick on the track. Rosita's Dream trained good yesterday. I had him in with some tough horses yesterday, and he looked very, very good. What are you doing, sweetie? Silent Assassin continues to do her work well. She just looks at everything, right? It's just going to take time. Going to have to wear her down, but we'll get to it. Sipping on My Shine, I made some shoeing changes with. Made a little break on Saturday, but the shoeing changes were made, and they were considerable on Friday. So I'll cut him some slack. This horse that I know has got a ton of speed and lots to offer. Just going to have to work with him. Don't do that. Sir Strong was sick last week. Now he's getting better. You know, we'd almost 2 or 3 different variations of sickness go through the barn since these horses arrived. Careful, you're going to hurt yourself. This one was a little more aggressive. The horses had a lot more mucus. They sounded a lot more lethargic. So the horses that presented those signs, I told everybody, do not move them. Antibiotics and then some bronchodilators. Do not move those horses until they look better. So Sir Strong, Real Fear, Rito Legacy, and Cutie Cumber were off for the last 3 days. They're all fine now. Sister Solange won her set yesterday. I guess you have to put this filly on the list too. She was absolutely awesome yesterday, and I mean awesome. She did her work very good. I love this filly. She's very green and very fast, and just a beautiful filly to sit behind. Smoking Hot Irish Girl was awesome also. This is the horse that was coming to Enzo, not Full Heart. She was in a different set. Smoking Hot Irish Girl looked absolutely awesome yesterday. Yes, his half sister that is slicker and better looking than he was as a 2-year-old yearling and 2-year-old. So we'll see where that ends. Man, she looks really, really good on the track. Spitfire Overseas, another horse that looks awesome on the track. Swinging Senorita. Both these horses looked incredible yesterday. You can hear me getting stuffed up myself. Goodness. Spitfire Overseas looked very good, very strong colt. This is one of Danny's favorite horses. In fact, he said this horse could be the best horse in the barn. I haven't sat behind him in a while, but he sure looks good on the track. And then Swinging Senorita won her set yesterday with Greg. He said she's just a monster. So we'll see. Tactical Mounds was injured last week. Nothing serious, thank God. But she did 2 weeks ago. But she did rip her knees open a little bit and needed to be stitched up. So she's going to miss 3-4 weeks of work. it's okay. There's lots of time for her. Beautiful filly, has done everything right up till now. Tailgate Buzz looked great yesterday again. They said actually he made a little break in the last tournament. It was kind of slippery, and he said he just lost his footing. He had razor pads on too. So anybody with flip-flops, razor pads, or bars, or dull corks, we gave a pass to yesterday. But Tailgate Buzz, when I went by him, he looked awesome down the backstretch yesterday. Tactical Tactor to Splint crowd, so he did not go yesterday, but he's looked very, very good for the last little while. Twin Cedars All-Star is getting better. Needs to be gelded in a bad way, but is getting better. His gait looks good. He's getting his cardio and his strength up. Starting to look like a horse now. He's still quite a ways behind even the Illinois breds, but looks better now. Una Madonna is a monster. James said every time I go with her, she gets better, slicker, sharper. I love this filly. Her and High Enterprise, obviously my two top picks of the sale they were in. As I said, we got our top picks all from this year. Tactical Tactor, my top pick at Harrisburg, we got him. High Enterprise, my top pick in Ohio, we got her. And Una Madonna, my top pick in Lexington, picked her up also. So a very rare year for the stable. This will be a defining moment for us, I believe, in 2022. And you're watching it all unfold right now. Victor Cruz was great yesterday. He's in Jason's barn right now. We're just moving some horses around. So we moved him out of the top barn down to shed row 12. Jason went with him yesterday. He did everything right and looked very, very good. Warwi Yuri looked much better. A little shoeing change on Yuri, and he looked much better yesterday. What a Mission was a little bit sick all week. Didn't have the same type of thing the other horses had, but we went easy on him. He also, I believe, had a splint crowd, if I'm not mistaken, but has looked good up until now. Whispering Song looked great yesterday. Johnny went with her and said he was very good. And wouldn't it be nice, the first horse we'd operated on had that throat operation done on, wouldn't it be nice? This was more precautionary than anything else. She was entrapped at the time. We could fix the entrapment, but the concern was that it would continue to recur, and it has a lot to do with the membrane in the throat. And I spoke to the surgeon after the operation. He said that membrane was big. It was going to cause her problems off and on forever. The right move was to take it out. So very happy with the way things went. She'll be back going. Yes, she's missed a month or so, but she'll be back going probably in the next couple of weeks. So those are your babies. Another long list. Those are your babies. We'll be back in a minute and talk about a number of other issues. Take care.